This is Think It, Say It, Do It. Come on in here, Hope Center family. Welcome to another episode of Think It, Say It, Do It. A healing episode that allows you to groove and move through life, or move and groove. Whatever you want to do, you can do it, as long as you think it and say it, right? I am J.R. McDonald, and I'm excited for us to jump into another week together. Yeah. So before we dig into this week's episode, I have to remind you of, some Hope Center opportunities for you. So just to remind you, any and everything Hope Center can be found on the Hope Center website. So as you're healing on purpose and evolving, I need you to visit the Hope Center website. Yes, www.hopecenterharlem.org. That's www.hopecenterharlem.org. Also, if you ever need someone to talk to, you feel like you're at life's wit's end, or you're just tired, or maybe you don't know what's happening, been there before, there's an opportunity for you to talk with a trained counselor with the Hope Center Crisis Text Line. So it's simple, it's free, it's open 24/7, yeah, and confidential. And that's my favorite part, because I don't like my business out in these streets. So if you're the same way, text the word worthy to 741-741. That's the word worthy to 741-741. Okay. As we are now approaching the spring season, it feels so good to take off some of those layers. But as you're taking off some of those layers, it may help you sprint and run a little faster towards some of those goals. And maybe you need to take some risks. So this segment is about taking risks. And I know a little bit about that. It's uncomfortable. We don't like the way it feels sometimes to take a risk, but we have to do it. I recently took a risk from moving out of New York City. I've been there 12 years. I'm a Louisiana boy. I believe I've told you that before. And I moved from New York City, and now I'm in North Carolina, Charlotte to be exact. Yeah. However, there's a lot of New Yorkers tri-state here in North Carolina, so I feel like I'm with family, but you don't know what you don't know. And that is when you go to a new city, you're meeting friends, you're trying to get well acquainted, and it's a risk that's involved. So I will never downplay that taking a risk is a lot. It can be heavy. I gotta put my baritone voice on. It can be all of that. But I have some tips for you, so you can take some risk this season. Are you ready? Let's jump into it. As you're taking or thinking about taking a risk, first thing we must do is identify what you want or intend to achieve. What is it? What are those deepest desires or greatest dreams? Take some time to think of the life that you want to have, that you want to manifest. How do you want to pursue it? Perhaps it's goals. And I've told you before, write it down. Think it, say it, do it, but in there you have to write those goals down. And when you write the goals down, then it starts to become law. You can start seeing what's actually going to be manifested and start checking those goals off. So you want to do that. The second thing is assess the risk. Oh yes. Now that you have identified the goal that's at hand, or the goals at hand, determine the risk you might face by going forward. How can you prepare for them? So, for example, I want to purchase a home. That was one of the reasons why I moved from New York City to North Carolina, was that, I can get a little bit more bang for my buck by going a little southern, right? But you can be scared. It comes with hidden and expensive renovation. Maybe you're going to renovate a home, or maybe my financial situation may change and I won't be able to pay the mortgage. That's risk. The house may decrease in value if the housing market crashes. Also have to think about, what is the housing market doing right now? What's the economic situation happening in our climate? So assessing the risk, you have to count the costs. That's important. Next thing, if you're going to take a risk, you have to assign each risk a value and then make a plan. So maybe, as I was saying before, you're considering, that, hey, the economic climate right now is tough. Maybe on a scale of 1 to 5, how big is that for you? Maybe that's a glaring 5 for you. Or maybe you have some money stashed away and maybe it's a 1 or 2 and you can navigate that. Or maybe you're looking at the housing market, whatever it may be, that's my story. But as you're counting the risks, you want to make sure you assign a value as you're making a plan. So determine what the goal is and decide in this moment, is this a risk worth taking as you're making that plan? So is it a risk? Because it's always okay to pause, shift, or stop, count the costs and decide, hey, not right now, maybe in 2 to 3 years. Maybe it is time. Maybe I can't wait any longer. So don't be afraid to take the risk. However, give yourself time to count the costs. Okay? So again, identify something you want or intend to achieve, assess the risk, assign each risk a value, and then make a plan of action. If you fail to plan, then you better plan to fail. So I want to make sure that you are ready for that next leap of faith that's going to happen this season. So remember, as you think it, say it, do it, make sure to take up space, take the risk, but don't forget to count the costs. Okay? Tell a friend that needs to hear this message about stepping out on faith and taking a risk. And know that it's okay to be nervous. Do it afraid. I know I did. So for all things Hope Center, visit the webpage www.hopecenterharlem.org. And remember, I am J.R. McDonald, and this was another healing episode of Think It, Say It, and Do It. See you soon, family. This high five is for you. You got this. Let me know if you want me to tag in.